It's Halloween, Halloween. I am the Wolfman, prepared to die. It's Halloween, Halloween. Spooky.
Hello, happy Halloween. I have a disturbing true crime story for all you ghosts and goblins out there. This story begins with a man's decapitated head in a punch bowl. It was so terrifying for the residents of BELLAIRE, Ohio, that Halloween was canceled that year. Come join me in front of the campfire. Go grab a snack and come right back. And now let's discuss this story of a Halloween hack. Welcome to the Murder She Shed. My name is Holly. BELLAIRE, Ohio is a village in Belmont County with a population around 4,000. Residents say it was a tight-knit community until the murders of Terry and MARILYNN Brooks. The BELLAIRE Toll Bridge, now abandoned and closed, was featured in the 1991 motion picture The Silence of the Lambs, which is super creepy considering what happens on September 30th, 1995 in BELLAIRE. The crime scene was so horrible that they canceled Halloween. The Brooks family lived in a somewhat secluded house at 54496 Margie Avenue in BELLAIRE. Gave them privacy, but also they could walk to neighbor's house if they needed anything. Terry and MARILYNN Brooks had 3 sons. The oldest, Jamie, that was in college at Ohio State University, the middle child, Nathan Brooks, and the youngest was Ryan Brooks. Nathan and Ryan both attended high school at BELLAIRE High School. Nathan was 17 and Ryan was 16. On the evening of September 30th, 1995, 16-year-old Ryan was at a Friday night football game with his friend Eric. After the game ended, they went to Eric's dad's house, who lived in a trailer, and told him they were going to a girl's house to hang out. Eric's dad told them okay, and after they left, he decided he'd go hang out with his friends too. At around 1:30 a.m., Ryan decides he should call his parents and just let them know that everything was all right. The phone rang for a bit, but he just figured since they were asleep, it was going to take them a little bit before they answered. Finally, someone picked up, but it wasn't his parents. It was his brother, Nathan, that had answered. Ryan told his brother to tell Mom and Dad that I am staying with Eric tonight. Nathan responded, "No, I think Mom and Dad want you to come home." Ryan just hung up on his brother. You know how brothers are. They don't listen to what the other one says. It don't matter if it's from the parents or not. They're not going to listen. Ryan just decided he would rebel and stay a bit longer. Ryan stayed another hour or so and then asked Eric if he mind driving him home. Ryan got out of Eric's car, told him bye, and headed into the house. Ryan was wondering why all the lights were on in the house because he knew his father had to get up for work early the next morning because he was a postal worker and he got up super early. Ryan quietly opened the door of the house, thinking that he could just sneak up to his room before his parents could even notice how late he was coming home. I'm sure we've all been known to do that as teenagers. As Ryan entered the living room, he seen a punch bowl sitting on a wooden chair with a lit candle beside it. Thought it really odd. He slowly walked closer because he caught a glimpse of something that looked really weird in the bowl. When he peeked into the bowl, he realized it was his dad's decapitated head. He suddenly felt sick to his stomach, but he knew he should go check on his dad and brother. Not sure if I would have been that brave, but great for him. I'd hope that I would, but Is it a decapitated head? Oh, good Lord Jesus. He slowly walked down the hallway to his parents' bedroom and found them both deceased. Then he walked to his brother's room and it was empty. Ryan ran to the phone and called 911, and then he called his friend Eric to come get him. And he told him that his parents were dead. Can you imagine what that friend thought? Like, oh, dear Jesus. Anyway, the friend woke up his dad and they headed to go get Ryan. He exited the house and stood there in a state of shock until his friend Eric got there. Soon after Eric got there, authorities showed up and they took Eric and Ryan to the fire station to stay until they could figure out the situation. Authorities were worried that they would find his brother Nathan deceased in the house too, but he could not be located. Authorities were shocked at the scene. They saw Terry's head in the punch bowl, his eyes closed, surrounded by wadded up pieces of torn paper, and underneath his head was a rubber mask with a black wig hair and holes that had been punched through the head, made to look like the wounds on his father's head. His headless body was found in his bed, arms above his torso, and blood splattered throughout the bedroom. Marilyn was covered by a blood-soaked comforter that had been stapled to the floor. She'd been stapled to the floor with a long knife deeply embedded in her right side above the waist. And they saw that she had also been chopped with an axe, also been stabbed 10 times with a knife, and she had been skinned, although it is unclear how much. Just a little bit's too much if you ask me. It's a little insane for someone to do that. That's like going up and above. And at the foot of her bed lay a ball-peen hammer and long nails. In Nathan's room, there was a collage of satanic images on his wall, and deputies also found the rifle, the axe, and knives. There was satanic literature diagrams in a book about Jeffrey Dahmer, who had just been arrested 4 years earlier. There also was a list of 16 to 19 names left behind that would later be known as the kill list. And on top of that list was Nathan's brother, Ryan, whose rebellion had saved his life that night. Next to Ryan's names were the words dismember, decapitate. Nathan's mother, who was listed next on the list, next to her name was the words eviscerate and crucify. After that was his father's name with the word decapitate. On the same page, Nathan had written times, all of which had been crossed out, and he had drawn a sketch of Satan in a pentagram. He also jotted, Satan will show you peace at the top of the page. Next to some of the names is molest. Next to others, it said skin. 2 names of females, it said dismember and eviscerate, which basically means disembowel. 2 names are crossed out and no times are listed next to those deleted entries. It is apparent from this piece of paper that Nathan planned to carry out the killings both individually and in groups. Ryan would later learn how lucky he had been. Authorities received a call not longer after Ryan had been taken to the fire department from Eric's dad, who said someone had seen Nathan leaving his trailer and was walking down the road. Authorities located him at the Winding Hills Cemetery, sitting in his car. Apparently, sometime in that night, he had been having a satanic ritual at the cemetery. He was immediately arrested. Inside Eric's dad's trailer was an envelope stuck to the wall with a butcher knife. The envelope said, to Ryan, if anyone else touches, I will kill you. Inside of the envelope was money that he was given to Ryan. Apparently, if he couldn't kill him, he was going to give him money. Nathan had also taken off his bloody clothes and had put on some of Eric's clean clothes, although he did still have some blood on his hands. Nathan gave a complete confession stating he was full of hate and anger. He also told them he had planned on cutting his father in half, but just hadn't got around to it. He planned on crucifying his mother upside down as a sacrifice to Satan, and that is why the hammer and nails had been at the foot of her bed. Terrifying. Terrifying. He claimed that he murdered them in order to get power from Satan, and that after the brutal murder of his parents, that he had felt only happiness because he had felt a profound love from Satan. He also said that while killing his parents, he had felt nothing. It was just skin to him, or like killing an animal. Authorities would learn from Eric's dad's ex-wife that Nathan had went to her house first looking for Ryan, and then he had thought Ryan had been at Eric's dad's trailer, and that is why he had headed there. Luckily, he wasn't, and no one was at the trailer, fortunately. Nathan had no idea Ryan had been at a girl's house, and come to find out, as Nathan was leaving the Brooks home to find Ryan and Eric had passed him during the process of him taking Ryan to his home. They had just met each other in the road. Luckily, Nathan had not noticed that they had passed. Apparently, Ryan had some angels looking out for him that day. During the trial, it would come out that the dad, Terry, was an alcoholic and was very controlling of his wife and boys. He was often toughest on Nathan. Starting at age 3, he would call Nathan names, as Terry would say, in order to toughen him up or make a man out of him, and would berate him for crying. Residents of BELLAIRE would say Nathan was a gentleman, pleasant and quiet. He was seen as a loner, but as a boy, he did want to be a minister and had been an altar boy at the local Catholic church. The desire to be a minister would stop after he had a babysitter that introduced him to Satanism. And after this, he started researching and learning about the occult. Sometime around this time, he broke into an abandoned house and painted satanic symbols on the walls and made an altar to perform rituals, trying to communicate with Satan. People around him at this point noticed that he was changing, becoming more of a loner, and teens often would avoid him because they just felt he was just plain weird. During this time, he also started using drugs. Nathan told his brother that Satan was his BFF. No kidding. He really said that. Somehow I feel that Satan is no one's BFF. I just get that weird feeling. Possibly that's true. Eric's dad took care of the local cemetery, and Nathan began mowing it for him because he was so interested in death. 2 of Nathan's friends would pass away, and when he attended the funeral, everyone appeared sad, but he said he did not feel any strong emotion over the passing of his friends, but just wondered what would happen to the body parts. One summer, Nathan spent the summer at Ohio State University with his brother. During this summer, he got a job at the nursing home, where he was always eager to enter the room in which the patients were dying. One day while working at the nursing home, Nathan spotted a man walking past the facility and decided it was time to kill. He grabbed a knife. I am unclear if he just kept a knife on him or he got it out of his car. Just as he was about to stab the man, a car drove by, so he didn't go through with it, but felt a thrill from just the thought of killing. His brother's girlfriend also found animal bones in his room, which she thought was very strange. While there, he met 2 Wiccan witches that encouraged him in his religion, but did agree with him that he was evil. His brother Jamie asked him about the satanic books and bones in his room, and he said, "Don't worry about it, it's just a phase," which is what I figure he had told his parents too, because they did not even seem too concerned about his recent behaviors. Teachers at school became concerned though, especially when he started signing his school papers, Nathan Brooks, Master of Death. And so he was sent to a school counselor, whom he threatened that he was going to cut off her head and dump it by the side of the road. That's when I'm out of there. I'm like, I'm no longer a school counselor. You guys need to find somebody else because this is a little much. Just a little just a tad much, just a tad. Too, I don't get paid enough for this. Ryan thought that his brother was hurting neighborhood animals, but he couldn't prove it. Some kids at school had heard Nathan talk about killing his parents, but no one even took him seriously. After Nathan was arrested, the town were in fear that there possibly were more teens that had been involved in the murders. Almost immediately, the town officials canceled trick-or-treating because of the rumors about satanic worshiping, and no one knew who else could have been involved with Nathan. So Halloween was canceled in 1995 due to fear of who could be next. But Nathan had worked alone. Nathan was given life with the possibility of parole after 43 years. Nathan is a prisoner today at the London Correction Institute in London, Ohio, 158 miles from where his parents had been murdered. It is said that he is a model inmate and is eligible for parole in 2038 at the age of 60. All right, guys, glad you could join me for my last Halloween campfire story. From now on, I will be back inside my warm murder she shed the rest of fall and all winter, and I'm so glad nobody murdered me out here in the dark woods, especially my husband who's been trying to sneak up on me this whole time. Well, I will leave you with some bloopers as usual. Love y'all, and y'all have a happy Halloween. Bye. It is cover, girl. I'm not working good. Oh, I slid it all the way across my whole freaking mouth. I never was an expert at putting on makeup. I just slop it on and call it good. I was going to dress up tonight for Halloween, but by the time it got dark, I'm old and tired and thought, screw it. Until my husband did the fire tonight, it was so nice and neat. He had it like this. I just threw it on there. Keep me warm. Hello, boys and girls. Ignore this rash I got going here. I've had a rough week with lupus this week. I had this fever and everything, and I get that stupid rash you get. I think I still have fever because I'm sitting out here freezing to death. But I'm doing this because I love y'all. True crime story for all you ghosts and goblins out there. I wish I had a scary voice like some people. I feel like I'm not doing these Halloween shows justice with my little wimpy southern voice. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. It was so terrifying for the residents of BELLAIRE, Ohio, not Iowa. Oh, shoot. That Halloween, oh my God. And now let's discuss the story of a Halloween hack. It was really loud. Of a Halloween hack. Why is that loud too? I need to calm down. I just need to calm down. ADD's working overdrive. The bear. Really, Max? I don't got time for this. What happens on September 30th, 1995 in BELLAIRE? Would you be still? Lay down. He might could just sneak up to his room before his parents could even notice how late he was coming home. I'm sure we've all been known to do that as teenagers. And what sucked about my house is we had 2 stories and the stupid stairs squeak. And there's 2 or 3 you could hit, and I kind of figured out where they were. If you're real careful, you can avoid the squeak. It took me a while to learn that though, because she used to could hear me. My mom has really good ears. Trust me, she does. Holy cow, it is a giant fire. Who had just been arrested for, this is 4, not that. Okay. What are you freaking at? Kevin, stop it. No, there's a crazy dude running around out here somewhere. Where you at? Kevin, do you hear my husband? He's making crazy noises. I don't know if you hear him. Yeah, you're going to sneak up behind me. I know it. Quit it! No Simon tonight because, yeah, he's in the house asleep and he don't want to be out here. Trust me, he don't want to be out here. He don't want to protect me. He's being a turd. He does not want to protect his mommy tonight. Little turd.